Hello, so welcome to the Black Ink Cinema podcast. I am joined by Jimmy James Jones. You've been on the scene for a while. For those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you got started, etc.
Jimmy James Jones. We'll explain the name first. Jimmy James Jones, because I'll be, isn't Jimmy short for James? Even though Jimmy's younger. There was a lot of Jameses in my school in primary.
So many Jameses.
Yeah, exactly. So rather than they split us up, so you'd have like a James B, James Bone, James whatever, and then some of them they would just call them by their last name, and then with me they just went, we'll call you Jimmy, and that kind of just followed me through. My name's actually James, and Jones is my mum's last name, so just whack the three together. And so yeah, I'm a son of comedian. I'm going for 8-9 years. Living in Milton Keynes now. Started in London. Mm-hmm. Mainly at the Comedy Cafe. I was a resident MC at the Comedy Cafe. And then I've done a couple of adverts, a couple of TV shows. And now I'm doing a podcast, and now I'm on the Black Ink podcast. I mean, this is my rise.
Come on.
Just smashed it.
So on that case, what's your biggest show that you've done to date?
The biggest show, it's a big toss-up between two. And one of them is because of Mo the comedian. So I've done Reading Festival, but I know for a fact people only came because Mo was on.
Love to see his career progression, because there was a time when it was just on Instagram. Now he's household name. It's amazing, isn't it?
And what I love about him is even before the Instagram, he was still probably one of the funniest comedians on the circuit. Just 100%. Nobody knew it. You know what I mean? Just nobody knew. And then he reached out to a wider audience by doing the online stuff. So I did that, and I was praying. I said, please put me on before Mo. Please. I thought, if they put me on after, they're all going to go. They're all going to leave.
Yeah.
So I was on like 2 acts before Mo, and I was like, yes, because he's filled this whole place out now in Reading. I was like, done the gig, and anything you say in a room full of like however many people, like loads of people, even if it's only 30% of the audience laughing, it feels like everyone is. So that was great. And then I done a gig in a place called Lillestrøm in Norway.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for a friend of mine, for quite a big comedian out there called Bjorn Daniels, and that was a lot bigger than I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be a little gig. He paid for me up there to go up there. He said he couldn't pay a lot, and I was like, that's fine, not a problem, whatever. This is what's funny. I didn't know that they had their own currency in Norway because I'm not that smart, right? So he sent me an email, and he was like, yeah, it's going to be 1,500 NOK. And I was like, you're paying me 1,500 to do 10 to 20 minutes of comedy in Norway? Yeah. I love Norway. So I've gone all the way out there. I told your mum, I'm getting paid £1.5 to do this, yeah? I've made it. I'm basically... I'm
big time.
Turned off. Huge theatre, so many people. It was amazing. Anyway, after the gig, I'm drinking all these free drinks at the bar. I'm smashing. I'm going, it's all right. I've got £1.5. It's fine. If I have to pay it, not a problem. Mm-hmm. Anyway, basically, moral of the story, 1,500 NOK is 150 quid in pounds, right?
Oh, okay.
I was...
Yeah. You're like, maybe I'm not going to take that shot. Maybe.
I spent all the money on the day. My whole pay went on that night. I spent the whole thing on that night. And I was like, I didn't realise 1,500 is actually not.
I mean, I learn something new every day, so that's very good to know.
Yeah. So if you go, because Oslo is probably one of the most expensive places you will ever visit in your life. Like a Burger King over there is the equivalent of 20 quid. And that's just an XO double bacon cheeseburger and a drink.
It's fine. I'll pass. It's fine.
Yeah, trust. There's no reason to be there.
No, it's fine.
But I think them two are probably my biggest gigs today. They're just incredible.
Awesome. Have you managed to meet any of your heroes? I know you mentioned a few people earlier, but any that stick out?
I mentioned a few people earlier, but they were my friends.
Yeah.
And Russell Brand isn't the hero, but he's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, my hero, I would say my hero is my dad, but I ain't met that guy.
Oh, I was just about to go, that's so sweet, and then it just turned very very quickly.
my comedy hero would be, I haven't met, like, I think my favourite comedians, one's died, unfortunately, Patrice O'Neil. He's my all-time favourite comedian. If you've not heard of Patrice O'Neil, check him out. If you want raw, like, just material that'll make you go, damn, can you say that? That Patrice O'Neil is probably the greatest comedian I've ever come across, but he died of diabetes, so I'll never get to meet him. But then you've got Jamie Foxx, who is just an all-round entertainer, the stand-up acting. He when he sings, even I'm like, I think I'm gay.
He's an amazing singer. It's really unfair to be that talented.
Honestly, I'd suck his dick in a second. Not even. With a straight face.
You went straight there.
Yeah, no, with a straight face.
You went there.
I'll go back to my wife after. I'll go back to my missus straight after. Where you been? I just saw Jamie Foxx's dick, and there's not a thing that you could say to me.
At least you would tell her.
Oh, with my
like,
chest.
She might give you a high five, to be fair.
I'm not leaving. I saw his dick and I'm proud. But yeah, he's probably my comedy hero at the moment, Jamie. And I think just because of his all-round, just because you can do it all. Yeah. He's probably, and I've not met him yet, but hopefully one day, God willing, I will. I really like Kevin Bridges and Mickey Flanagan as well.
Sorry?
I'm a big fan of Mickey Flanagan and Kevin Bridges as well, who I've not met, but they are my love. I can watch them all day. Hello.
I mean, you've put it out in the universe, so hopefully it'll come to light, you know?
God willing. That's also. I believe in all of that, speaking into the universe. I believe in it. Yeah.
Where can people catch you? What's your social media? Where can people follow you, subscribe?
I think I've got a YouTube page which I'm still working on. I don't know how the YouTubers do it. I'm still working on that. That's a full-time job there.
It's so difficult.
Well, I got the YouTube. Yes. And I'm not that good at social media as it is. I've been quite active on Twitter lately, what with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything else.
Yeah.
Just arguing with people because I love arguing.
See, I find that exhausting. I'm like, if someone says something extremely stupid, I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't even. I don't understand how dumb those words that left your mouth that you typed. It's just, it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
The only people I don't argue with are the people that don't have a picture or their name is like 087467889 red or something. And you're just like, dude, I'm not arguing with you. But they'll be like, you're this, you're that. You're not even a real person. So how you can't insult me. You're not even real. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You're an egg. You're not even real. Like, but it's Jimmy James Jones on Twitter, Insta Jimmy James Jones on Instagram, and that's about it.
So we asked you to pick a film that resonates with you, that you wanted to talk about, and you picked the classic Friday.
How could I not?
I mean, I should have seen it. I mean, yeah. Tell me why did you pick Friday?
Friday was the first DVD I ever purchased myself. When I was in. I mean, it came out, I think, 96. I can't remember. It came out years ago, but I think as soon as I started getting EMA money, it was when I first got my first EMA in college. I think that was the first movie I ever bought. And I would watch it. I'd watch it before bed. Do you know what I mean? And when college girls come over, I'd watch it with them. When the boys come over, I'd watch it with them. I watched it. I used to be able to speak, like, I will talk along to that whole movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the whole thing, and Chris Tucker. That's when I first come across Chris Tucker.
Yeah,
and then I started buying all the Def Jam DVDs.
Yeah,
and watching Chris Tucker on there. And at first, I was like, "He's my favorite comedian." And then I saw him on the Netflix, and I was like, "Wow, you suck." So, but Def Jam. Oh man, yeah. So Chris, he that was the first DVD I ever bought. And do you know what I love about it? Friday's like. It's like it's just perfect, isn't it?
It is. I just love how it's had like a cultural impact that people don't even know. They take phrases from the movie, by FELICIA and you got knocked the fuck out. And I remember that was like people used to say that all the time in school. Very mean if you got knocked out. But even now, the resurgence of it, with Straight Outta Compton and certain phrases that people don't even realise.
No, absolutely.
are from there.
Absolutely. Like, I reckon when that movie, because I've seen, I'm not trying to bait anyone up, but I've seen drug dealers in ice cream vans. Like it's the perfect getaway. Like that's the undercover. Like that is the one. Like no, I'm just selling ice cream, big man.
You know what's funny? I didn't even see anything wrong with that scene. Like when I remember, like it was, that's about right. Like that's how drug dealers move. They're just in plain sight. And so that didn't even like raise any issues and like
suspicions or nothing. Yeah.
No, that's
normal.
Doesn't your ice cream eat drugs at the same time or no? Okay. Fine.
Oh, now I've got a 10-year-old daughter. I've got a 10-year-old. And when the ice cream man comes, I'm like, hold on, wait. Let me go see my man first.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm like, yo. And he's like, ice cream. And I'm like, oh, no, he ain't selling that. Cool, you can go get your ice cream. He's no drugs. Yeah,
exactly. Just vet him first. What is your earliest memory of like watching Friday?
Oh man, me and my brother. I got an older brother, 3 years older than me, and I remember coming home with it, and he was like, "Oh, well, what do you know about Friday?" And I said, "Nothing. I've heard it's amazing. I really want to watch it." And it was like, "Cool. Wait for mum to go to bed because we only had one video player in the house."
Of course, it's fine.
Sorry.
No, saying of course it's fine. You have to wait for him to go to bed because.
And we've got, and it was on a Sunday, and I remember I'm sitting there. It's like early afternoon. Just come back from church and I'm like, yo, Mike, we need to watch this Friday. I'm like proper excited. He's like, go to stick it on. And my mum's like, songs on Prince. So I'm like, oh
God.
Man, songs to praise. She got to sit there with songs to praise and I was singing along and I'm like, Mum, we went to church this morning or what's going on? I don't really understand. Anyway, we sit there, we do that. And then she's like, yo, we got to eat. And I'm like, yo, Mum, I just want to. Do you know what I mean? Like she's trying to delay, she's delaying it hard. And then it hits about 8:30 and I'm like, right. She's like, go to bed. I'm like, nah, big man. Nah.
Big man.
I'm 16 now, you know. You go to bed.
I'm going to stay up. I'm a
big man now, you know.
I'm all right.
I get EMS. Oh, money. And then we sat there and we watched it. And I remember Michael just like telling me different references. Like the drug references, like the weed. I've never smoked. I never did any of that. So he's telling me, yeah, obviously puffed off. He's trying to explain things, but while he's doing it, I'm telling him, yo, sharp, like I can't.
Yeah, one of those people.
Yeah, like shut your mouth and enjoy the music. Like let's talk about
like
it on the second. Yeah.
Exactly. So, just talking, and I'm like, shh. Let's just watch
it. That's my earliest memory. And then we had to keep kicking my sister out because she's a year younger. Oh, Jen, I'm like, no, watch this. You're not allowed. It's just the man, it's just the boys. Fred. You know, you don't know if, first time, I don't know if there's a sex scene going to pop up and stuff.
Okay.
Like that, so I'm like, that song, you need to, oh, no, the devil. So that's the earliest memory. Have you been that sister?
Yeah, I've been the sister, my brother. Yeah, my older brother. I mean, to be fair, because my older sister was there, I kind of just clung onto her and then by default was allowed to watch it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I shouldn't have watched in hindsight, but this is life. This is life.
You know what I mean? It's done now. It's done.
Yes, done. The damage has been done. It's too late. So how has Friday affected your career, your work?
When I first started comedy, I wanted to literally, I would watch a Friday and then I'd go and watch Chris Tucker and Def Jam.
Oh wow! If
I had any videos of my earliest, like I was telling Adam earlier, big up Adam by the way. I was telling Adam earlier that I used to, that when I first started, I used to do a lot of miming. I think I've got one of the videos on my Instagram, one of my earliest shows. Yeah, from 2011 at a Black History Month gig, and it used to be a lot of miming, a lot of like there were no actual jokes, just going on stage. Do you remember when this happened? And like, playing music. Have you ever done this? And you should check it out after this, by the way. Just going to throw that out there.
I will. I mean, I had a little look on your Instagram and I think you've got your hidden talents. I saw you belting out a bit of Boys to Men there. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if comedy doesn't work, you've always got singing. So that's
Thank
there.
You so much. Thank you. They're my favourite. Thank you so much. My favourite. Thank you. I thank you for instilling that confidence. And when I start singing on stage, and people, what's he doing? I'm going to say, listen, Rachel said.
Sing with your chest, okay? Do it.
Oh, God, I forgot what I was saying there. Yeah, that's it. So I used to watch that, and then I used to not imitate, but I would take the characteristics of Smokey and do that on stage. So say if I'm mid-joke, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Come on, man! Like, and so, like the twitches and his characteristics, and down to like him doing a Michael Jackson thing. I'd take little bits that I found funny in Chris Tucker, and I would now go, okay, I'm going to take that, I'm going to use it and do that as well. The only problem is, everybody's seen Friday.
Yeah.
So then they'll be like, Jimmy, you look and sound a lot like Chris. So, I'm like, really?
You're black, you know, there's just so many similarities.
I go high pitch. I think the one thing that stayed with me my whole career because of Chris Tucker and the whole Friday is the fact that I do go high pitch. It gets the audience's attention straight away. So as soon as I get on stage, I'll be like, it's Jimmy. And they'll be like, why does he sound like that? And then suddenly it goes really silent. And they're like, someone! And that's off the back of Smokey being like high pitched and eccentric. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, no.
I think what's funny about Chris Tucker is that I feel like that he is just Smokey, because obviously when you watch Rush Hour, there is a lot of similarities. He does the Michael Jackson, and you know, it's just like that is him, which I love. And one of the things that I like about Friday is seeing that transition of Ice Cube from gangster rapper to like film creator, director, producer, and just like the amount of work that he's produced from that. It's just like so inspiring.
100%. He kind of turned from gangster rapper to kind of lovable. Like people are like, oh my God, he's...
Yeah. They totally forgot. Like he was out here.
He was really talking about and doing all sorts of magic. He's gone from that to, you know what, Ice Cube's a lovely bloke. He's really nice. He did. He listened to his dad. He put down the gun and he beat the crap out of Debo. That's a lovely.
I love that scene though. I love that scene.
Honestly, and that's another thing about that movie, because it teaches you things as well. Like that one, rest in peace, John Witherspoon. That one scene there, it's like you have to pick up on him. And I think that resonates with a lot of people in that same era at the time, because obviously South Central LA, everyone's shooting each other. There's gang violence, even up to now. So I think you can watch it now and you can still take bits from that movie and go, you know what, he's right.
It's so relevant, and what I love as well, because he didn't have to, it's a bit woke, do you know what I mean? He didn't kind of have to leave that little gem in there to like kind of talk to people. There's all this comedy going on, and then that scene is like a little drama piece kind of thing. It's so serious. And there's a lot of little bits between there that he does do to kind of just drop some knowledge on you. And I think he kind of does that throughout his career as well. Even if it's like a really silly comedy film, he might say a line or he might do something and it just makes you think.
Yeah. 100%. I think the casting was just like that. I mean, the thing of John Witherspoon has been the same. He's looked exactly the same as in Friday as he did up until he died. This guy did not age.
Yeah, he did. I've got a theory that black people get to a certain age and then that's it. That's just their, whether it's like 45, that's it. That's just their face. Like it just stays like that. And you're just like, I don't understand. That was like coming up to all 30 years and that, and you're still looking the same. I don't understand. Like, catch a wrinkle, seriously.
You know, him, Morgan Freeman, and Samuel L. Jackson, I have not seen them look any different my whole life. I'm like, how do you look the same?
Morgan Freeman came in looking old. Like, and then he's just stayed. That's just it. He just stayed.
This whole time. What a legend. So that's another thing for me. What I feel bad for Chris Tucker though, because I feel like he couldn't get away from Smokey, which is what might have affected him. Have you seen Fifth Element?
Yes. Yeah.
He's Smokey in Fifth Element, just with a stupid haircut and ridiculous clothes. Do you know what I mean? Like he couldn't get away from that character, and I think that affected him in the long run.
Yeah, because it was such a caricature character. Like it's so over the top and flamboyant and almost like Ace Ventura-esque. Where it's like, you know, which is one of the faves. But just
100%. You and me both.
Yeah. It's difficult sometimes when you get pigeonholed and you just get typecast, like that's it. People just want that as well because it works.
100%. 100%.
Saying that, who do you most relate to? Who is most similar to you, like out of the cast?
The midget.
I mean, he was just happy all the time.
Who would I say? Because you know what? I'd probably say Ice Cube, but only because I've got a sister. My older brother was very much like a dad kind of thing because he was older. I've never really had a job, and all the jobs that I have had, I've never actually kept.
Oh,
so I mean, so there's times like, thank God for comedy, because my life would be a mess. Like when I first started coming up, like just after college, I had a couple of like 2-3 week jobs. But every time I did get a job, my mum would be like, well, you don't listen. You're not going to stay in your job. And then little things like getting fired.
Oh, mum, I love the confidence.
Oh yeah, if you keep the job for 3 weeks, I'll pay you. It's just little things like getting fired on your day off. Like I had a job one time that I didn't know I was supposed to be in. It's a Monday to Friday, Jimmy. How did you not know you were supposed to be in?
What kind of weekend did you have?
I thought it was meant to be a day. That's for another podcast. Rachel.
Say no more.
We've all had our dance lives. But now I've had days where it's just silly things have happened, and it's like you're trying to justify it. But then you also, because I feel like that character didn't know what he was doing. He lost his job. It's not like he had anything to go back to. His friend's a weed head who owes money to some guy, so he gets himself into situations that he had no reason being in, and then he's got to get himself out of these same situations. So I resonate with him most because I'll put myself into situations that I had no reason being in. Now I've got to get myself out of it, and then I'm going, I had no reason to be in it in the first place. And then I think, all right, cool. I just tunnel vision even. Just so I think, I'll go crazy. I've never beaten up a guy bigger than me though.
There's still time.
No way. And if somebody like that hit me in the face, like they do these fighting scenes, I think one man, the whole face is spinning. No.
I'm staying down. I'm just going to stay down and play dead. It's fine.
Fell up in the ball. Do your worst.
It's fine. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, the cast is amazing because obviously you've got Nia Long and Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. And it's just like, imagine like Regina King, just seeing their growth. You know, who they are now. It's like, I'm sure a few people have never watched Friday and have no idea where they've kind of started out from and that 100%. Platform.
I mean, even Bernie Mac. And he didn't even have a big role. He was like a weird pervert preacher. You know? And even seeing him in that movie, playing a big part, it's like, oh, is that Bernie Mac just coming in? Hey, sister, twin. And you're like, what's he doing?
So well, and it's just like that. I wouldn't imagine anyone else playing that role.
Exactly,
like,
it's Bernie Mac. So, and that's another thing I agree with you. That's another thing I like about the movie. There's just so many. What's his name? Who gets? The one who gets punched in the face. I think he was one of the writers on the movie.
Yeah,
as well.
DJ.
Yeah, so I think thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, he was one of the writers as well. So
yeah,
it's nice to know
love that.
Take the mick out and bang in the face. Yeah, it's like punch me in the face. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Listen, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'd probably say Nia Long is a character that I can relate to because I'm nice until I'm not. So
okay.
He smiles until we cross that line, and then the lioness is out and about, and I'm gonna have to put you in your place real quick. So
really,
yeah,
that's
which
good.
I love how she stood up to him. I mean, she got hit in the end, which is not ideal, but yeah,
for real. But the fact that she stood her ground though, and I think that's what people respect.
Exactly.
Like, we respect seeing that. We go, I love that. Like the fact that she stood her ground in the first place.
Exactly. Have you ever come across any bullies in the
bullies?
Yeah.
I was growing up super duper lucky, and I told this. I used to have a joke in it as well. I was always super lucky because I have always had an older brother. We're very much yin and yang. Like I'm like I'm performing arts. I'm like, hello, like, do you know what I mean? I switch it on.
Jazz hands.
But when I need to be, I'll be all like, you know.
Yeah. Screw
so I can
face.
switch on. Michael don't have that. My brother Michael don't have that. He has one face every day, angry. Just every day angry. So when I first moved to Milton Keynes, he's 3 years above me. He's come in there. They've already familiarized themselves with him.
Right.
So then I come in, and then they're like, "Oh, what? You're that little brother? Oh yeah.
Cool.
I was fine.
You were cool. You didn't have to worry about it. I think that is the nice thing about having older siblings. They kind of lay down the groundwork. So when you get in there, you don't have to do too much, you know.
This is it. People are like, "Oh, what? You're Michael's brother, yeah?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh man." These times I'm like, "Big man, I'm out here trying to practice Little Shop of Horrors. I'm trying to play Audrey 2. I'm trying. I'm the
same. I'm the creative as well. So it's really soft and.
This is it. We got lucky, but like you said though, people shouldn't take that for advantage. People shouldn't take that for granted, because as soft as you are and as nice as you are, decide to cross that line. It's now okay. I will now. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to see me kick off, and then I'll turn into Craig and Diva at the end. Then it's like, okay, you took my kindness for weakness. And I'm like, I'm just kicking your ass. And
then they're like, "Who did this?" And I'm like, "I warned you. I told you."
Yeah,
I tried.
And this is it. So it's the same thing. Very much the same case. That's funny.
So as I noticed that this was probably one of the earliest black stoner films that's about, because there's not that many, or there weren't that many. It's more of a white genre. Quite young white kids kind of look cool smoking weed, whereas black people smoking weed, it's like, it's a rite of passage kind of thing. Absolutely. Have you ever watched it high? Okay. Say no more. It's calm. It's all right. I got you. It's all right.
You have to.
I got you.
But only like two years ago, maybe.
So you don't need to explain yourself to me. I hear you. It's fine.
Just the one time. Spend the whole time coffee.
Yeah. I mean, I might have to. It's on my bucket list because I feel like that's...
No, honestly, it'll be tears, because the most minor thing is funny. When you watch that, it'll be tears throughout the whole thing of laughter. I'm not encouraging it. I'm saying if you're going to do it, just do it one time on Friday. Put it down. Yeah. I ain't got that free pools. I don't even do that stuff. Well,
don't do drugs, kids.
I love you. Jesus is my friend. Love Jesus.
Of course. Amen. Have you got any favourite lines? I mean, there's so many to pick from.
When he's in the fridge right at the start of the movie. Whenever I come in the kitchen, you eat up all the food. All the egg. What is it? I want pig. I like pig. And he goes to put the milk. You better eat that. Put some water.
Honestly, watching that, there's so many... I feel like that's all black parents say. Like, just complain. As soon as you open the fridge, it's like this... What are you doing? Why are you eating? And it's like, I need substance.
I'm hungry. And then the mum's making up her own food. He's like, right, yeah, cool. And she's like, well, where's mine? For you. I made this for me.
She's like, you got 2 legs. You got 2 hands. Use them.
That's probably my favourite line. I think that whole sequence is one of my favourite parts of the movie. But when he's in the kitchen eating the grapes, and he's just eat up all the food, all the eggnog, all the pig food.
And I feel like he probably ad-libbed a lot of that because it's just so him.
I thought that as well.
Yeah.
You can't write that.
No, you can't write that.
You just got to let them be naturally funny. Because he was a great stand-up comedian as well. Yeah. So he's probably just gone, is that what we got to do? And he's just gone with it. And boom, magic. I reckon half that movie was ad-libbed,
I reckon as well. Yeah. I mean, I would say... Most of my favourite lines are from Chris Tucker, and I don't know if he had any involvement or if he was just like improvising, because so many of the great one-liners that have kind of like that live on are from him. Yeah,
true. You got knocked the fuck out. I mean, by Felicia's Ice Cube, but the fact that that's still now, that's still a thing now. You ain't got no job. You ain't got no job. That's another really great
Or you're
one.
fucking up the rotation, puff
Yeah,
gear.
puff gear. That's a big one. That's a big one.
That is like, you know, I'm not even a weed smoker, and I would still say that. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those things when you're young, you just stuck in your head.
Yeah. Weed is from the earth. God brought us here for me and you.
God, it's just, he honestly, definitely ad-lib, I would say, because some of those lines were so crazy.
Yeah, like you can't write that. You just got to say, hey, Chris Tucker, here's the concept, play with it. And he's probably just said, all right, cool. And Bernie Mac turns up, twin. Like, you don't write 20 twin. Like,
no.
That's not on lots of paper. Like,
and I think that's what's genius about Friday is you had all of these like actors and comedians kind of coming together, and then it was just magic.
Honestly, and it worked. It worked. It was a shame to see that he felt like he had grown out of it come next Friday and the Friday after next.
But I think it's because it was after Rush Hour, and Rush Hour had kind of propelled him into this like stardom, superstardom,
yeah.
And it was kind of like, I
guess it would be seen as a step back because Rush Hour was my second movie the third one I was going to suggest.
I love Rush Hour so much, like
with passion.
I love that film. Like,
same.
One of my favorite duos.
That's another one.
Yeah,
it's another one I've seen countless times.
It was like martial arts meets black comedy. I mean, what more can we ask for? Like, exactly. Win.
Especially as a black guy, for something like my brother, my cousin, all my older uncles, they love kung fu and that.
Oh yeah. My older brother as well. Yeah, he did karate and everything.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what black guys and Bruce Lee and them, like, they love it. Street fight, they're like, look, welcome Bruce Lee, yeah? Look, right, you get like, they love it. So you mix that with Chris Tucker, it's like the perfect marriage for us.
Yes, exactly. And I can watch that film till I'm blue in the face, and I'll might
even do it tonight.
I might throw it on as well. Yeah,
100%.
So growing up, did you know a Smokey or in your school? Because I knew a few smokers in school, but they weren't black.
They never were.
It's what's quite funny. Like, the weed smokers in my school, and you know, my school was predominantly black, Asian, and then white was the minority. So it speaks volumes, the few white guys that were there that were smoking weed. Yeah.
The weed heads in my school were white as well. And you'd always catch them behind the trees at playtime. They'll come into maths and you're like, big man, what is that, Alan? Why do you smell like that?
The thing is, they would walk into like geography, and all of a sudden the teacher has lost sense of smell.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can't smell all of that.
Yeah,
because it's killing my nose. It was
when I came to me on Keynes, I was one of the only black people in my year, me and my brother, in the whole school. Only until I hit year 11, a few more started coming in. So when that would happen, you know, teacher would just be like, James, come on. And I'm like,
James, come on.
It's like, I've got asthma. Like, come on, it's not me. And they'll be laughing like, man, Dean Kelly will just be there. I'm like, man, I've got asthma. I've got a blue pump and a brown pump. What am I doing?
Yeah, no, it's still you. It's still you.
Do you know what I mean? I'll go to run for the bus on the way home and die. What, for weed? That's for me. Look at my man over there.
I'm allergic, but yeah, so it would instantly irritate my nose, which is just like, someone said to me, that's tragic. And I was like, why is it tragic?
No, that's it. So now there was a lot of Smokies in school, but and you're right. But most of them weren't white. It's quite funny. But I know a few black and white Smokies now. I know.
Oh yeah. Now it's different. Now
I love the Smokies now.
Yeah. Now I think everyone, it's just survival, really.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of do what you gotta
do. But there's Smokies in suits now. You know, they'll leave work in a suit at the bus stop talking about, it's a long day. You know? But the stock market's a mad thing today, you know.
And it's funny because you have the work voice, you know, and then it's after work voice. So
exactly.
Yeah.
She just traded, taking off the tie. This trading thing, yeah?
Just doing Superman. Just, yeah.
It's true.
What did you think about the soundtrack? How important do you think the soundtrack to, like, the music? One of my favorites is Dr. Dre on that.
Ring, ding, dong. That one?
Such a banger. Yeah, such a banger.
Yeah, ring, hit the bells, ring.
Like, just drop that, it gets me hyped.
Yeah. I like Mary. I not only found out. I think I must have been about 25, 26 when I found out what Mary Jane was.
Oh,
I didn't know that the geezer singing about Mary Jane was singing about weed.
Yeah,
I thought Mary Jane was Mrs.
I think because in the film as well, when they play that song, they go to the poster of all the different references for weed, and Mary Jane is on there.
I never clocked when I was a youth. I just thought.
Oh no, I literally helped that the other day. Yeah.
The sound it's brilliant. There's so many bangers on there. But what I love about it is you can play it, and then even if you haven't seen Friday, you'll go, "Oh, that's a tune."
Yeah, exactly.
And you could just listen through and forget that these are the songs from the movie and stuff like that. It's great. I love music. I'm a huge music fan as well. It's a class. Really, really good
Sometimes the
soundtrack.
music can really make or break, like, the feeling of a movie as well. Like, got a sick soundtrack. You end up listening to the soundtrack way after the film and
yeah,
and stuff like that. So yeah, love it. What did you think about the sequels? What's your thoughts on the sequels? Just okay.
I knew you were going to ask this. I like Cat Williams.
Oh my God, I think he's so hilarious.
He's just naturally funny, but I think everything else was forced. And that's what got to me. Like Terry Crews, who I'm not so much of a fan of anymore these days.
Terry Crews represents that extremely slapstick comedy. I'm not a huge fan of slapstick comedy. It works for some people and some people love it. I support it, but
yeah, as a movie, like Friday was not only funny, it was historic. You came away from it with a message. Like it's like okay, maybe he didn't get the girl in the end, but he defended the girl in the end. He won the fight. Bullies don't always win. You come in, it's like that. Yeah, great movie. Next Friday and Friday After Next was just, there's some funny bits, but it's not as iconic. Like it's easily forgettable for me.
Yeah. Like I can't really tell you a particular scene from.
Yeah, like Michael Blackson in, I think it's Next Friday. The scene with him is hilarious. I can't get jiggy with this shit, but that's the first time I've seen an African man represented on TV like that.
Yeah.
Before. So for me, that's why I found that funny. I can't get jiggy with this shit, but then I started thinking, you're taking a piss.
Yes. I mean, there's a few things. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of things that were on PC that was kind of allowed. I mean, now you couldn't really do that without. Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, so I think certain things were allowed.
Yeah, but some things like I don't like. They had a party to raise money.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. Like
it was foolish.
Yeah, it's like, come on. And then the whole, and then Friday After Next, you've got the whole, tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. You got to slap his mum, like, square in the face. It made me laugh. It made me laugh so much. But at the same time, it's like, this is so dumb.
It was quite, I think it's just like they had something and they kind of wanted to build upon it. But that's the one thing I hate about sequels and trilogies. It's like, if we're not building upon this, like, let's just.
Wrap it. Leave it as the iconic movie that it is. Because there's a lot of talk of Another Friday, where Ice Cube was talking about trying to get Chris Tucker involved, but like, nah.
See, I think...
And don't get what's his name to do it either. The guy with the thing on his head from Wild 'N Out. What's that kid? He sounds just like Chris Tucker. He sounds, all of his videos, everything about him is Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Everything. And they're talking about getting him to play the role of Smokey, and it's just like, no.
No. Do you think that's where it kind of went sideways, the fact that Chris Tucker wasn't part of the sequel?
Yeah. Because what they tried to do was they drafted Mike Epstein to be his cousin, and that was the comedic factor. Mike Epstein's funny in his own way, but not in a Chris Tucker way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it didn't. I don't think it didn't. I don't know. I've watched it. I've got the DVDs. I've got all three. But I don't go back to them to go, can't wait to watch these tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll think on Friday and I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You're done. I'm satisfied.
Yeah. But I think a standalone movie is like, okay, cool. You get some funny bits. If you go in there purely for stand-up and not for stand-up, for comedy, and just want to have a quick laugh, stick them on 100%.
Yeah.
Like I'd let Amaya, my daughter, she's 10, I'd let her watch Friday. A few swear words and stuff, I'd let her watch it because it's a feel-good movie, and like the kids are there, the ones that are running around with guns and that. So we watched that and go, look, this is right. I know you're a girl, but you don't have to pick up tools. You don't have to do this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And stand up to bullies and stuff like that. The other two.
What we're learning. If you were to recommend a scene that captures Friday, and that you would, direct someone to YouTube and like, watch this clip, it's going to make you want to watch Friday, what scene would it be?
Chris Tucker and Ice Cube are outside on the porch. And I think it's just when, I think they were about to smoke. It's like, anyway, the Ice Cream Man pulls up. And another, I forgot his name, but he's another big comedian. He used to do Def Jam and stuff like that. He rolls up. And Megan Good.
Megan Good. Yes, I noticed that this time around when I was watching it. I'd actually never even heard he was in the movie. Like, Ice Cube put on a lot of people. Like, I hope he gets about 10% of everyone's, like, money, because he's out here making superstars.
100%. So she turns up and he's like, can I get some ice cream? And he's like, it calls, because I think that gives you the concept of what the movie's about and where the movie's going. And it's a little bit funny when he's counting the money and then he looks up at him and then he flips it around. He's looking to see if he can make $200 and he's like, and he's like, that scene I say, because when you watch that scene, you understand he owes someone money.
Yes.
He's dragged my man into it. And now watch how that unfolds, basically. Yeah. And that's the scene I would direct them to. For me, it would be any Chris Tucker scene. Hello? Sorry. It would be any Chris Tucker scene because he was just, the part when he's like pooping and the guy's walking past and he's like, stay there. It was like, I was cringing and dying for him. Like, why would you think that that's okay? Like, that's why? In what world? That's absolutely fair enough. For some reason, I forgot about that. But yeah, that's the scene when the geezer's in the store and he tries to slip over. It's like I just.
Oh my God! He didn't even try. He was just laying on the ground, like, come on, dude. But I feel
that's like funny as well.
That references that time. A lot of people were slipping in stores.
Oh, of course. Listen, I'll still drop them for if I have to. Listen, if I see a wet floor, no sign. Woo! Yes, Tesco's is mine.
or any of his flashbacks as well. When he's telling Craig stories and he's flashback into whatever when the other guy got hit. His flashbacks are always so hilarious.
Him in the car, at the back of the car, and he starts when he first starts. It's like, oh, man. And he's in the chicken coop.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing. I'd tell someone who wants to start smoking weed to watch that and say, don't smoke no weed. And if you're going to do it, go to somebody that you can trust.
Exactly. That's a really good don't do drugs campaign, really. Just watch.
Okay, unless you want to end up with a constant twitch.
A twitch or owing people money or,
Don't smoke weed. Don't sell drugs because you're not good at it. And don't smoke weed.
Don't sell drugs. Yeah. Educational movie.
Exactly. It's a message movie with comedy. It's got everything. Exactly. I feel like when people watch this, they're going to go, man, I cannot wait to watch Friday.
Oh, amen to that. I hope so.
Amazing. This has been amazing. Such a good chat. Thank you. It's so nice to sit and chat with you about one of probably my all-time favourite movie and Rush Hour. I feel like we've covered all bases.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for coming on Black Ink Cinema's podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here, man.
And I hope when we're up and running, you can come down and watch one of these.
We'll go again. Rush Hour, we'll do that one next. I'll turn up. I'll fly up. No problem. I'll be there. You just let me know when. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.